everybody, thanks for joining me today for Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class, what you can expect, we'll start with a slow warm-up and we'll start to pick up some speed while we build up heat in our body. And you'll notice as we go through, there is a repetitiveness to our movements, and we tie that movement in with our breath. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. Take breaks when you need to. Don't let your ego get in the way of your practice. And always make sure to check with the physician before you start a new exercise regimen. Today, we're gonna need 2 pillows. And we're just gonna need them for the first minute or so of class. They can be couch pillows, bed pillows, as long as you have 2. We're gonna start with a reclined pose today, reclined Baddha Konasana. If you're familiar and you know you don't like pillows or you don't need them, don't sweat it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a second to pause the video and grab 2 pillows. Once you've got your pillows, we're gonna lay down on our mat with our head at the top of our mat. We're gonna place our pillows at our sides. Start by bringing the bottoms of your feet together, let the knees fall out. And then place the pillows underneath the knees so they can support the legs. Lay down flat on your back. Place your arms wide at your sides, palms face up. And gently close the eyes. We're going to start here today. Focusing on the rising and falling of our chest. Giving our bodies a rest. We gently open the hips. We'll stay here for about a minute. Draw your attention to your breath. Even though the world is still moving and going on around us, make sure your attention is on the self. All you're required to do in this moment is breathe. If you'd like to feel some more sensation in the hips, you can remove the pillows and let your knees fall closer towards the floor. Focus is on the rise and fall of the chest. Take the deepest breath you can, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And exhale slowly out through the mouth. Place your hands on the outside of the thighs and draw the knees together like you're closing a book, placing feet flat to the mat. Go ahead and move your pillows out of the way. And draw both knees in towards your chest. Holding on below the knees so you can pull the thighs close to the body. And if that's uncomfortable on the knees, you can hold on to the back of the thigh instead. Expanding your breath, the back side of your body. Eyes can gently open if they're still closed. Return your feet to the floor. Place your hands along the sides of your body, palms face down. And if you can't touch the back of your heels with your fingertips, walk the feet in. Now bend the elbows so fingertips face up towards the ceiling. And pressing into your feet as well as your arms, you're going to lift your hips off the mat and up towards the sky, keeping knees in line with the ankles, lifting chin from the chest, and lowering the hips back down to the mat. Don't forget to utilize your arms. Draw the breath in through the nose and lift the hips up again, nice and slow, drawing breath in. Exhale out through the mouth as hips lower down to the floor. Draw the knees back in towards the chest, giving them a hug, holding below the knees or on the back of the thighs. Rock gently side to side. And then return to stillness. Hold on to the outer edges of your feet and lift the feet to happy baby. So soles of the feet lift to ceiling, knees draw out towards the armpits and down towards the floor. Getting a little more activation in our hips here. Keeping the ankles in line with the knees. Our bodies hold a lot of tension in the hips. We're trying to relieve that stress from the body. Draw both knees back to center and extend your legs flat onto the mat. Roll over onto your belly, placing hands underneath your shoulders, legs together, tops of the feet to mat, and elbows up to the ceiling. Slowly lift your chest to baby cobra, drawing the belly in, shoulders wrapping behind the heart. In baby cobra, we're using the muscles of our back and our core to hold us up. No pressure in the hands. You should be able to float them off the mat. Then lower your chest back down. Press to child's pose, bringing your hips all the way back to your heels. And once your hips touch your heels, slowly rise to a tabletop position on your hands and your knees. Knees under hips and wrists stacked under shoulders. Lift up to the fingertips and round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest, drawing belly in. Then slowly release, lift and arch the spine, gazing up to the ceiling, tailbone and shoulders lifting up. Again, rounding back to cat. Chin to chest, and lift and arch. Gaze is up. One last time, exhale as you round the spine. Inhale as you lift and arch. Then exhale to return to tabletop, neutral spine. Lift the left arm up to the ceiling and thread the needle. So we're going to pass it through the space on the right, lowering down to the shoulder and the side of our face. And then relaxing the right arm into a comfortable position. We're moving the focus now to our spine, warming up the muscles around the vertebrae. Position your right hand on the floor so you can press yourself back to tabletop. Draw the breath in as you lift the right arm to ceiling. Exhale to thread it through the space on the left. Slowly press yourself back to a tabletop position and lift back up to the fingertips, tips of the fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip. Draw this knee in towards your chest, rounding the spine into a crunch position, and place the foot into lunge, ankle directly below the knee. If you can't do that without assistance, grab your foot and place it there. Draw the breath in through the nose, lift both arms overhead, nice and slow movement like we're moving through water. Exhale out through the mouth, hands lowered down towards the floor, nice and slow. Draw the breath in, arms up. See if you can slow down the movement a little bit more. Knee stays over the ankle. Exhale, hands to floor, breath out through the mouth. Last time, deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Extend the right leg behind you, point through the toes, and return to tabletop, knee to mat. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, lift the knee high, step or place the foot into lunge. Slowly draw the breath in as you lift arms up to ceiling. Find length on the sides of your body, out through the crown of your head. Exhale, fingertips to floor. Breath in, arms up. Exhale to lower. One last time, breath in and breath out. Extend the leg behind you, point through your toes, and return to tabletop. Settle into child's to finish our warm-up. Hips to heels, arms down the length of the mat, forehead to mat. Take advantage of this moment of stillness as we finish our warm-up. If you're uncomfortable in your hips or your knees, try rising back to tabletop and lowering to puppy, elbows down to mat, palms face down, and head relaxes. One of these will be your rest period throughout the class. I'll always say come to child's, but you're more than welcome to come to puppy pose instead. Finish this pose with one last deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Next inhale, come back to tabletop position on the hands and the knees. Lift up to the fingertips. Extend your left leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot into lunge. Tuck your right toes onto the mat. Lift this knee into the air, lifting up to the pointer and middle finger, sending chest forward, gaze is forward. Left knee over the ankle. Step up to half lift, so right foot steps up to meet the left. Flattening the back, hands to knees or shins. Shoulders draw away from the ears, gaze is down towards the floor. Nice long spines. Slowly lower to forward folds, bend the knees, drop your belly to your thighs, let your arms and head hang heavy. Keep your hips reaching up towards the ceiling as low belly draws in. One vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines up to a standing position. Leave your chin tucked to your chest until you make it all the way to standing. Once you're up, give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead, looking up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bring your hands together and lower them down to heart center. Then lower the arms down by your sides. Make sure you're standing at the top of your mat, feet hips width distance apart. Stand nice and tall with purpose at the top of your mat. Send your tailbone long to the floor, belly draws in. We'll slowly lift the arms back overhead, moving into our modified sun salutations. Lower to forward folds, belly to thighs. We're going to start to pick up our heart rate. Rise to half lift, flattening the back, hands to shins. Step back into a plank position, so bend the knee so you can plant your hands and step back into a traditional plank before lowering to tabletop, knees to mat. Lean forward for chaturanga, so shoulders past the wrists, elbows close to body as we lower our chest and chin to the floor before we lower the hips. Now we're all the way flat. Elbows up to the ceiling and legs together. Lifting the chest for baby cobra, using the strength of your core, and then pressing to child's, hips to heels. Just a breath or two here. And slowly rise back to tabletop, preparing for our first down dog. Go ahead and tuck your toes onto the mat and spread your fingers nice and wide. Make sure you're pressing firmly into your pointer and your thumb. If this is your first time, you're going to take it in steps with me. If you're familiar with down dog, lift your hips up to the ceiling now. If you're taking it in steps, we'll start by lifting the knees off the mat and drawing the belly in. Then sending the hips up towards the ceiling and belly back towards the thighs. My knees are still bent. Shoulders are up towards the ears. I'm lengthening the spine towards the ceiling, pressing firmly into my hands, particularly the pointer and the thumb. Take a few deep breaths into your chest. Look forward and step your right foot into a lunge position. Place it there if you need to. Step up to half lift, flattening the back and feet together. Lower to fold, belly drops down to the thighs, arms and head hang, and we slowly rise up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Second time through, lift the arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, head hangs. Rise half lift, back flattens. Step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, bend the elbows, chest and chin down before the hips. Then lift the chest to baby cobra, shoulders behind the heart. Press to child's, hips to heels, and take a bit of a breather here. We're warming up the body. Slowly rise back to tabletop and prepare for down dog, tucking toes onto the mat, hips up to ceiling, belly to thighs, shoulders to ears. If you're a beginner and you'd like to take it a little bit further, try pressing one heel down towards the mat, just one. If you notice that your back rounds, don't extend the leg. And then try to press the other heel down. And maybe switching back and forth. Everyone look forward and step your left foot up to lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening your back. Lower to folds, belly to thighs, and slowly rise to a standing position. One last time, let's tie this one in with our breath. So inhale to lift the arms overhead. Exhale as you find your fold, belly comes down. Inhale to half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. Take a breath in here. Exhale to chaturanga, chest comes down, hips come down. Inhale, baby cobra, chest lifts. And exhale to child's, hips to heels. If you didn't catch the breath, that's okay. Focus on the breath now. Inhale to rise to tabletop and exhale to down dog, hips up to ceiling. It's okay to keep the knees bent. Don't let your ego get in the way of your practice. Deep breaths into the chest. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise up to a standing position. One vertebrae at a time. Place your arms down by your sides and stand nice and tall with purpose. Place your arms behind your back, grabbing onto opposite elbows. Step your right foot back to the center of the mat and heel toe the foot out to the outer edge of the mat. Inhale as you lift your chest to ceiling and exhale to fold, hinging at the hips, bringing chest parallel to floor, gaze down towards the floor. If the left leg feels really tight, Put a slight bend in the knee. Extend out through the crown of your head, lengthening your spine. We're opening up our chest and getting a nice stretch on the back side of the leg. Slowly rise back to standing. Take your time and step all the way into the center of your mat. Left foot steps to the back of the mat, heel toe the foot out to the outer edge. Inhale to lift the chest to ceiling. Exhale to fold, chest parallel to floor. Remember, soft bend in the forward leg. And slowly rise up to standing, stepping all the way to the back of the mat and lowering hands down by your sides. Deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling to fold, belly to thighs. Inhaling to half lift. Then walk the hands down the mat into a plank position and drop the knees to tabletop. Give me a cat-cow, rounding the spine, tucking chin to chest. Then lifting and arching to cow. One more time, exhale to round. Inhale to lift and arch. Toes are tucked onto the mat. Lift the hips up to ceiling into downward dog. No hold this time, look forward. Step your left foot up into a lunge position. Bring your hands to your thighs to lift your chest upright. Then extend the arms overhead into Anjaneyasana. Left knee stays stacked over the ankle. We're on the ball of the right foot. Take a few breaths into your chest. Open into Warrior Two. So open up to the right side of your mat. Right heel lowers down and arms lower to shoulder height. Left knee still stacked over the ankle. Hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat. You're standing tall towards the ceiling. Gaze is out to look over the left hand. Warrior Two. See if you can sink into your hips a little bit more without the knee passing the ankle. For reverse warrior, we'll lift our left arm up to ceiling as we lower the right. Getting a nice stretch on the left side of the body. Then straighten the left leg so it has a bit of a break. Then return to Warrior Two, knee bend, arm at shoulder height. Straighten the left leg and turn the toes to face the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn the toes out away from one another and bend the knees into goddess pose, stacking knees over ankles, sending hips towards the floor. Spine stays long to the ceiling. So we're still opening our hips here, but we're getting a nice length in the spine, down through the tailbone. Straighten the legs nice and slow. Turn the toes in to face towards one another and hinge forward into separate leg forward fold, bringing fingertips down towards the floor. Bend the knees if you need to make that happen. And then we'll find the fold by sending the chest down towards the floor, belly down, head down. Knees are slightly bent and weights in the balls of the feet. Try to send your chest forward to keep the spine long. Slowly place your hands on your hips and rise to standing nice and slow. Take your time. You don't want to get lightheaded until we're all the way to standing. Turn to face the back side of your mat. Right foot turns to the front and lift up to the heel of the left foot. Back into Vinyasa, arms overhead and right knee bends. Same thing, we're just facing the back side of the mat now. Take a few breaths here into your chest. Keep that left leg nice and strong. Glute activated, thigh activated, down through your calf. And open up into Warrior Two, facing the left edge of the mat. Shoulders or arms down to shoulder height. Holding here, gaze is out over the right hand. Couple deep breaths here. Lift the right arm up into reverse warrior. Nice side stretch on the body. And straighten the forward leg. Before returning back to Warrior Two, knee bends. Straighten the right leg and turn the toes to face the long edge of your mat, lowering hands down to the hips. Hinge forward, back into separate leg, forward fold, placing fingertips towards the floor. We're not going to hold. Instead, left foot turns to face the front of the mat. We'll walk the hands back into a lunge position, lifting off the right heel. Step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, bringing your chest, chin, and hips down. Lifting chest to baby cobra. And pressing into your rest position, child's pose or puppy pose. Slowly find your tabletop position and use your next exhale to return to downward dog, hips up to ceiling and belly to thighs. Couple deep breaths here. Look forward and step your right foot up to lunge. Breathe in as you find half lift, back flat. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to a standing position. Once you make it to standing, give me a deep breath in through the nose. Lift the arms out at your sides and overhead. And exhale, hands together, down through heart center. Take a second here, maybe close the eyes or lower your head down towards the floor. And just focus on the rate of your heartbeat, the speed of your breath. Lower your arms down by your sides and open the eyes. We're going to move into a little bit of balance. We're going to do standing head to knee today. So it's up to you how far you'd like to take it. I'm going to give you guys options, starting at the easiest, building up to a little more difficulty. We're going to start with all the weight in the left leg. So place that foot firmly to the floor, lift up on the toes, spread them nice and wide, then place them back to the floor for a great support. Don't lock out the leg. So slight micro bend in the knee, turn on that muscle in the thigh so you can feel the muscles around your knee lift. Very important. Nice, strong foundation. So here's option one. You'll slowly bend the right knee until it's about in line with the hip. Touch the knee, then lower it down towards the floor. You want to try to be as graceful as you can. But if you're working on your balance, you might find that you're wobbly, falling over, and that's okay. It's what we're working towards that's important. If you can maintain a little bit of balance or a little bit more balance, you can hold the knee steady, interlacing the fingers and holding the knee in position. Here's option two. Make sure the glute of that standing leg is active, so is the thigh. If you want to take it even further, you can place the basket that you made with your hands to the ball of your foot. Keep in mind, you don't have to take anything a step further. You can stay wherever works for you. Last option is to begin to extend the leg. Now my leg won't extend all the way, but as long as you're pressing out through the heel, lifting through your chest, standing tall through your standing leg, you're doing beautifully. Make sure you're still breathing. If you extended the leg, bring the heel close back to the body. If hand is on the foot, bring it back to the knee. Everyone step your right foot down to the mat and keep it there. Bend both knees. Give that standing leg a break if you were staying on that leg. And now we're going to switch to the opposite side. All the weights on the right foot. Same thing. Spread those toes. Activate the leg. Slight micro bend in the knee. Option one is to lift and lower. If you're holding the leg steady, start here, holding on to the knee. If you're taking it further, hands come to the ball of the foot. Keep standing up tall, lifting the chest. If you're taking it further, begin to extend the leg, pressing out through the heel. Keep lifting through the chest. Don't hold the breath. If the leg is extended, bend the knee. If hands on the foot, bring them back to the knee. And everyone lower your foot down to the mat and bend both knees, giving those standing legs a break. Return to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Feet hips width distance apart, stand up nice and tall. We'll take 3 deep breaths, lifting the arms out at our sides, in through our nose. Exhaling hands together, down through heart center, and back down by our sides. As we start to slow down our practice. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, hands together and down at our sides. Last breath in, nice deep breath, arms up. This time we'll exhale to forward fold, bringing belly to thighs. Rising to half lift, flattening the back. And stepping into a plank position. We're going to hold this plank here for 10 seconds, but if you're tired, you're more than welcome to lower down early. Make sure your heels are in line with your hips and they're in line with your shoulders. Take a look back if you need to. We're holding here for just another 5, 3, and lower slowly down to your belly for a short rest period. Turn your head so you can rest on one cheek. Place your arms along your sides, palms face up towards the ceiling. Bring the toes to touch, but let the heels fall out. And close the eyes if you're comfortable doing so. All you have to do in this moment is breathe. Breathe and let your body go on to the floor, relaxing the muscles, letting go. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat and bend your knees. So feet are up towards the ceiling. Then windshield wiper the feet, slowly letting them fall side to side. So relieving any tension in our low backs. Lower your legs back to the floor. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press into child's pose. Taking a rounded variation, so arms along the sides of your body, palms face up to ceiling and forehead to mat. Shoulders melt down towards the floor. Slowly begin to lift yourself upright. Swing your legs down the length of your mat so you're seated flat on your sits bones and legs extended down the length of the mat. Lift the arms straight overhead, drop your chin to chest, then round the spine into rounded back stretch, placing your hands on your knees and pointing your elbows out to either side of the room, just like elephant ears. Working a little bit more with the spine here. Bring your focus to the space you feel the most sensation. Draw your breath to that same space. Ask the muscles to release. Coax them into relieving their stress, their tension. Slowly lift the spine up right into staff pose, placing hands on either sides of your hips, finding length through your spine up to the ceiling before you relax back to neutral. If you're not already sitting in the center of your mat, shimmy your way there now. Place your feet flat to the floor and hands on the back sides of your thighs. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we're going to come all the way down flat on our back. Then draw both knees in towards your chest and give them a squeeze, pulling them close towards the body, holding here. Again, relieving tension in the low back. And also giving a nice compression to our internal organs, helping with digestion, keeping our organs happy and healthy. Holding for a few more breaths here. And place your hands on the back sides of your thighs if they're not there already, and extend the legs straight up into our inversion for the day. Lining heels up over the hips and holding here for about 45 seconds. If you don't think you can hold your legs up for that extended period of time, a modified version is to bend the knees, drawing thighs close to the body, but keeping heels elevated. Still getting all the same benefits of the inversion, which is to induce relaxation, calm our nervous system. Maybe close the eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Focusing on the breath. Draw the knees back in towards the chest, lowering heels down towards the glutes. And placing your arms out on the floor at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right into a reclined spinal twist, and gently turn your head to the left. Draw the knees back to center, let them fall over to the left, and turn your head to the right. Draw the knees back to center. Wrap your arms around the legs, pulling them close to the body. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose as you lift your head to meet your knees, holding for a moment here. And once you exhale out through the mouth, I want you to release your grip, laying flat on the mat, spreading your arms and legs nice and wide, palms face up and toes fall out. Gently close your eyes into our final resting pose. And one last time, bring your attention to your breath. And keep your attention on the rise and fall of your chest. Relax your brow. And drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Now that we've let our bodies find some stillness, we can bring our focus to our minds, to our thoughts. There are no good or bad thoughts, just what is there. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back into your body. And slowly roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side. You could use your arm to support your head if you like. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, gently press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. As always, to end class, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Today we'll take a 4 count breath, so we'll inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. If you find that that count comes a little easier to you, then I want you to try extending to a 5 count breath. Let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have out of the body. Inhaling in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Breath in, keep your count, and exhale. Last time. And breath out. Take a second to thank yourself for your patience. Thank your body for getting you through this practice, and I thank you for letting me lead you today. There's a light within me that honors the light within you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a bit slow of a practice, but that's just how I was feeling today. If you enjoyed this style, I teach this style of yoga every Monday at 8 a.m. A new class is released. If you like something a little more demanding on your body, I also teach a core yoga class, definitely more difficult, that was released every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Please don't forget to follow UMBC Rec on Instagram to keep up with our content. And if you're a YouTuber, we also have a YouTube channel, UMBC Rec TV. Thanks so much. Hope to see you guys next time.